Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we got an exciting upgrade for the RV. In a previous video we did the backup camera on our RV, but today we got a new one by Auto-Vox, which is their backup camera and their side view cameras. What's cool about this one is the rear view camera on this is it's pretty much plug and play for the Furrion setup. If yours is already pre-wired for Furrion, this will go in the position of that really easy. You're literally just gonna plug it in, screw it in, you're done. But this one also has the side cameras with the lights, which isn't so much plug and play with the Furrion part of that system, but they look pretty decent and they should be easy to hook up. What we plan on doing with it is taking our old small round lights off, putting these on, wiring them up, and then just using the WF4 connectors in there to do the wires because it's inside the wall. We ain't got to worry about moisture, hopefully. But let me tell you a little bit about this thing. This has the 7.2-inch display, so it's already pre-calibrated for the 3 different views you're going to have: left side, the right side, and the rear. So you'll get that. Plus it's 1080p, so you're going to get a clear picture. We noticed how clear it was when we did the last one, and we were quite a distance away, because with this one you'll get up to 500 feet, distance. So it is kind of designed for the longer trailers if you have that, or if you're worried about losing that signal. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what's in the box. And like I said, it does work with the pre-wired Furrion setup. It has the DVR loop if you're looking to do that. It has dual power supply, so if you're looking to power it a couple different ways. And it is IP69 waterproof rated, so it's good for the weather. You got your little instruction booklet here. Of course, you got your 7.2-inch screen. What's cool about this screen I like is it's wider and low profile, so when you have it on your dash, it doesn't get up in the view of your windshield, so you don't lose as much view. I know our other screen on our other unit is a taller screen, which kind of gets in the way unless you mount it down further, but I do like that. We have used that one. And then you do have your backup camera. As you can see, this is that mount, kind of like the Furrion mount. So this is going to go exactly in that spot. The thing is, you don't even have to use this housing for if you're pre-wired for the Furrion. You're just going to take this camera part out with the 4 screws, screw it in that spot. It'll work perfectly. So you won't even need this housing if you're pre-wired. If not, you'll have to use the case with the rubber gasket it has, and then you can put it in place, use the power from one of your clearance lights up there. And of course, it comes with all the mounts. You got this dash mount for the screen if you want it. We use a RAM mount on our dash most of the time for those. You also have the power right here. You just plug it into a power outlet in your vehicle or in your truck and plug it in. Then you have all your other power connections. Do different ways of hooking it up. This one has an on-off switch if you're going to use it that way with USB. So you do have multiple ways to hook it up. It also has your antennas. If you notice, there's 5 in there. So you got 2 small ones, which are probably ones we'll use on the side cameras. Even though it does include some longer ones for the side, I think we'll use the smaller ones because it's a shorter distance, so it should work good. Then you got the tool to take the screws out and 4 new screws. And you have these side marker lights. They are from the Furrion ones. They are a little bit thicker, I think. These look like they stand out a little bit more, but with that cool light design on the side, it doesn't look bad sitting on there. And what's cool for mounting these, you get to slide it off of the base. You mount this base, and then you can hook everything up, put this on and slide it in. And there's a set screw. You guys, we'll show you closer. A set screw in the back, which will hold it all together once you get it done. And then it goes on easy. So this should be a pretty easy, straightforward installation. We're going to start with the marker lights first because we have done the back one before. We know that's super simple. So we kind of want to get this one on there and get it adjusted. Now on the back, you have 2 sets of wires, so there'll be 4 altogether. One's power for the camera, one's power for the light. So you're just going to join your powers together and your negatives together, and then you have your 2 wires off your side light. One's going to be power, one's going to be negative. So make sure you check which one is power before you go hooking the wrong wires up. We'll put a voltmeter on it so we'll know which one's giving us power. Then we can hook these all in. Like I mentioned, we're using a WF4 connector. A lot of these RVs do have that in it. And since it's in the wall, I ain't worried about moisture or anything. So I'll just put those in with a WF4. They should hold just fine. Haven't had any issues with those, and we put them everywhere. So that's what we're going to do first, is mount these. Like I said, we will have to modify a couple things for these. To mount that base, you're going to have 4 holes in the side of your rig for this. So make sure you get it where you want it the first time so you don't have multiple holes everywhere. And this will be more the holes will be in different spots in your current lights. So if you had to ever put your current lights back on for whatever reason, you're going to have holes you're going to have to plug. So keep that in mind when applying this system. Even with the Furrion one, it's a little bigger than our round one because we have the small round ones. So these will go on, be a nice improvement. And I already know the picture's nice because we've seen it. Also, we want to thank Auto-Vox for sending this to us. They are the sponsor of today's video. And we're going to definitely put this through its paces, give it some tests. So we want to get the first thing, like I said, we're going to do is install that side camera. Both of those. We're going to show you how to do it on one side, then we'll just do the next side. It's going to be exactly the same. We're going to take the old one off, find out which one of our wires are hot, join these in with a Wago, and then drill our holes in there. Oh, they did give you also this little packet of screws so you can mount that to the side. They don't, well, I guess they're self-tappers, so you'll be good. You don't even have to pre-drill with these. It does come with a rubber boot on the side. This is all rubber back here, but you're still going to want to put some silicone, bead of silicone around here just to give that much more protection. And they are marked clearly right and left side, which I'm not fully understanding that unless it's how it is in the screen, because this can go either side of your RV. But we'll see when we put it there. We'll put it where it says. But let's get over here to the side, and then I'll show you where we're going to put this up. All right, guys, we got you guys set up here on the side. These are our little round marker lights that are going to come off. And we're going to put these in its place. Like I said, they stick out a little bit, but it's not too bad. And plus, it's got this cool looking light on the side, and they are LED. So that is nice. And what's cool about this system too, it has the IR, the night vision. So at night, you're going to be able to see it's clear too. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, since it does have the DVR, it does come with a 32 gigabyte memory card already installed in the monitor. So you got that for you. So the first thing we're going to do is pop off our side marker light, take the cap right off. That's going to give us access to the 2 screws that we're going to need to take this one out. They are the square bits like you get on the RVs, but if you're lucky enough, you could use a Phillips. We're going to try that first. Yeah. This one here, I don't think goes into anything. Yeah, it just spins without coming out. So we'll put a little backwards power on it. That's why. It's a half a screw, dude. Literally a half a screw.
So they didn't do their job.
No, I was just working on a buddy's RV the other day, and half the screws in the track for the trim was all like broken screws. So I'm using my pocket knife, but you could use like a plastic scraper or something to not hurt anything. You're just trying to peel it away from the silicone that's on there and get to your wires. It's that simple right here. Now, to find out what power is wire, or yeah, what wire is power, you can hook it up to your truck and plug it in. Or there's that little method we use where we just put the fuse, jump right on our 7-way plug, and it puts power from the house batteries to all the lights. So we'll be able to tell which one of these is power. And look at that. Already Wago connectors for us. We don't even have to use Wagos. I brought them out, but we're not even needing them. That's what I mean. I told you all the new ones were coming with Wagos these days.
That's the first good thing they did.
Well, it does make the job a little easier. And look at that, enough wires too. Man, that's beautiful. Now we just got to find out which one of these is power. Now we'll bring you over here. I'll show you what we do to jump the wires to find out which one's power. You're going to need a fuse, you're going to need like a mini fuse like this, or not the micro, but the minis. This one happens to be a 15 amp, but you could probably use a 10. All right, we have our 7-way connector. And for us to be able to send power to the lights, we're going to take these top 2 parts, which is the part where your little cutout is on your plug. You're going to jump that with a fuse across the 2. Got to make sure you touch them both there. There we go. See, now our light's working. So we have power going to the light now. So that's what we're going to use to test which one of our wires are positive and which one's negative. So we'll get our voltmeter. Select 12 volt. Can you come over here and hold this, bud? All right, for us, we could just poke in here to find out which is positive and which is negative. So I'm thinking, I want to say the green one's going to be positive. Just feels like it would be. Yep, there's our 13.4 volts. So on this one, our green ones are going to be our positives. So that's what we're going to hook all our positives up to on our side marker camera. So Like I said, this is going to be easier because they are the WAGO connectors. Let me get one of our cameras. Take the side mount off. As I mentioned, you have two sets of wires. They both say they're marked, clearly marked, which is nice. They say DC 12 volt and ground, DC 12 volt and ground. So you're going to join the two red ones together and the two black ones together and hook them in their respective outlets on here. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to take the two red ones, put them together, take the two black ones, put them together. And that's how we're going to hook it in when it's time. But we're not going to do that right now because we do have to mount our mount on first, because that's going to allow us to get that on there, and then the camera just slides right on. We could do all the wiring through the hole. One thing I was noticing is when this is on here, it's on there, you have your wires through the hole. Let me just go through the motions here. Get them all in there. You have the camera mounted on there. The camera faces back, so no chance of rain or anything getting in there, but there is a gap enough for bugs to get in there. And then this hole's open to that gap. So you might want to put just some silicone there to fill the hole, just to keep some of the bugs that might try to burrow into the side of the camera through there. That's what I'm going to do, just fill it with silicone. But we're going to get this mounted after we get these unhooked. Like I said, with these WAGOs, simple. That's it for our light. We'll set that aside. We can keep that as a backup or something just in case there's an issue. And then here is where we can put these through and just find out where we're going to mount this. Obviously, we got to clean off all the silicone. Otherwise, this won't lay flat. But this will give us an idea for a hole. Well, yeah, this will give us an idea for the holes. I'm going to set it like that. That way, the hole that's currently in the RV is right in the curved part of this. Gives me good access for the silicone I'm going to plug it with. I mean, that's a big hole to fill with silicone, but that's what we're going to use. After we, of course, we're going to have to put your WAGOs in there and all that. I mean, if you got another method to use to plug it, or you're not worried about it that much, don't worry about it, I guess. But that's what we're going to do. Let's clean off the silicone. I'm just going to scrape it off with a plastic scraper that I have. Once I get this all off, then we'll come back and hook this side piece up. All right, guys, we got our spout all cleaned off. Now we're putting this on here so it lays flat with the rubber bushing on it. We're still going to silicone around it, but we want to make sure the rubber's sitting down there good. Now we're going to use a level to tell if we're right. Our camper is on, or our RV is on a concrete pad that's level, and our rig is level. So you want to make sure you start with the level rig. We're going to put our level on here. Then we'll turn it until we get the green. Right there shows us we're level right there. I guess we are. I can't say it looks like it by eye, but I guess we are. So now we're just going to take one of the screws that came with the kit, which is right here. And these are Phillips, so you're good to go with that. And like I said, they are self-tapping, so you just got to get it started. And they go in really easy, so don't... See, that's not even flat enough yet, because there you go. Behind our fiber panel, or our fiberglass panel, there is a thin sheet of aluminum, it looks like, that I could see in here. So it had to go through that also. But we got one started. Now we can use this to make sure we're perfectly level again. There we go. That shows us as level. All right, we used our level. We know we're level. We're going to get another screw started in here. There we go. That's two of them mounted. Now we're just going to do the other two, and then we'll put our wires in, and our camera slides right on. That's all there is to it. And then we're going to put a bead of silicone around it just to keep anything out of from creeping in from the outsides. And then with these WAGOs, like I said, it's such an easy connection. And then it's inside the wall. It's inside the wall, so you don't have to worry about any corrosion or water getting into your plugs. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll go to the wiring this up.
Action.
All right, we have our two positives, our 12 volt DC wired together. And we have our two ones that are marked ground wired together. Remember on this one, the green one was our positive, and the other one on here, the whites, were our negative. So we're going to hook into those. But before we're going to do those, just for safety's sake, we are going to pull the fuse out just so we don't have any power going to it while we're doing it. So with these waggles, like I said, love these things. That's it for that. And then negative's the same thing. That's a lever lockdown. It's that simple. As you can see, I use the waggles for everything. It makes the job so much easier. Some people, you know, if you're worried about like these little tabs getting caught on some people put tape around them. I do sometimes. It depends. I don't think I need to on this one. So I am just going to shove these back into the wall. And then we can slide the light on. Oh, I'll get that wire in there. There's one light, or one camera and light mounted. It don't look too bad on here. Like I said, it stands off there a good 3.5 inches or so, but it ain't bad. And your antenna is going to go right here. Like I said, we'll use that short one because we're going to be so close to the truck with that. And now there's a set screw we're going to put down through here when we're done. We'll do that at the end. That we put through here, and then we could silicone this up. That way it stops this from sliding off, and it'll be good to go. So let's get the small antenna on. Small antenna can screw here, but man, that's, oh, it's so close. But that's going to be good like that, I think. It's close. I think that's going to work. That don't look too bad. What do you think?
Pretty good. I like that.
So once we get in there on the monitor, once we get these done, we'll aim this to where we want. Obviously, we're set up, so we're going to have some obstructed view with the slides, but we'll still get an idea if we can make it just see the left side or the one side of the rig. From there over is all bonus. So I think it's going to be something like that. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to go do the other side, then we'll get that back one hooked up. Then we'll go inside, see what this all looks like. All right, I forgot to show you guys that it works. Same thing we did with our fuse. We're going to do that same thing. There you go. You can see our lights are working. They look pretty good. I like it. Yeah. So that's working good. Our camera should be powered. We'll peel the plastic off the lens. Our camera should be powered. We'll do the same thing when we check it on the monitors or on the monitor. We'll plug it in here so all the lights have power, because this will power every light on your rig just by doing this. So now we're going to go do the other side, and then like I said, we'll install that back one and show you how to see it on this, how to set up your monitor. So that'd be cool. All right, we have this second side camera on with light. Literally, it took 5 minutes to do, from taking the one off to putting this on, and I had my son do it, so it wasn't even me who did it. I noticed on this side when we took the light off, you see the gap between here and here? It's different than the other side. If we would have slid this in the same position, that hole would have been visible that's behind here. And I wasn't about to drill another hole. So that's the manufacturer for you of these RVs. But you can only see one side at a time, so it doesn't matter. So now we're going to go on to the back, pop in that camera. Literally, it's plug and play. 4 screws, plug it in, you're done. And then we'll go inside the truck, set up the screen, and see how clear the picture is. It's preset for those 3 different views. That's probably why you got the left and right camera. So that's going to be exciting to see that. And then we'll go through some of the settings inside, what you can do with it, and then go from there. So let's go get this back one all hooked up. All right, guys, we are out here on back of the RV. And right here is this is the camera we had put on here. This is a Furrion camera. This other one's going to go right in its spot using the same holder. And this RV came pre-wired and pre-set up for the rear view camera. To take this out, you literally, I'll see if you guys can see that. There's a screw there, a screw over here, and then 2 on the bottom. Once you take those off, the camera will come out, and then there's one plug. You unplug that, switch the cameras out, and you're good to go. So let me get these 4 screws out, and I'll show you what you got to do to disconnect on the back side. All right, I'm down to taking my last screw out, but with these screws, one word of caution is these screws are so tiny. I mean, tiny, tiny. So you want to make sure you get a good grip on it so you don't drop it. If it falls to the ground, make sure you're watching it so you get it back. All right, now that we got all 4 of them out, right here, we have this pulled off. With a Furrion plug, you literally just unplug it. That's it for this camera. Now the other camera is going to go into the same spot. We're just going to take it out of the holder it's in right now, the camera, and then we'll plug it right in here, and I'll show you how it plugs and play. So let's get that one out of the holder. All right, this is the camera, how it comes in the box when you get it from Auto-Vox. It's in the holder. Like I said, it looks like the Furrion holder, but we're going to keep our holder on the rig. We're just going to take these 4 screws out. When you get them, there's these little dots covering the screws. You just pull those off. It's going to give you access to the screws. Get off me. And then we'll just pull these 4 out. I'll show you how small these are once I get one out. Look how small that is. And that's tiny. So you really want to keep track of those. We'll probably just use the ones that we took out of the other camera because they do go to that holder. But you could use these ones as well. I know when we installed the other Auto-Vox camera, the other backup camera, one thing we noticed was the one part of the camera was a little bigger for the Furrion housing, so we had to trim it back a little. So I'm curious, let me take this out. There we go. I'm curious if, because on this one corner, it was catching on our holder up there. We just took a pocket knife and rounded it off a little bit, nothing major, and it fit on there perfectly. So we're gonna go up and find out if that's how this is on this one. You can almost see on the Furrion one how it's a little more rounded there. This one's a little more square. And on Furrion, the antenna comes out of the top, comes out of the side on this one. So really doesn't matter where the antenna comes out as long as it gives you the signal. But this one's so easy. I love the plug and play aspect of it. So let's get up here and get this baby installed. Okay, I went up and did a dry fit on there. I'm gonna take you guys up and show you what I'm talking about. This corner needed to be trimmed just a little. It needs to be rounded just a little bit more to totally fit in the Furrion holder. But if you didn't want to do that, you could pull off the old one and use this mount. That's fine. I just want to do that because we're already sealed up there. So I just know I got to trim this corner down just a little bit with my pocket knife. It'll fit right up in here. So let me take you guys up the ladder and I'll show you what I do just to clear this corner. All right, guys, I'm going to try to hold this up there and hold you guys too at the same time. Let me get this up in there. As I set this up in there, you can see that, you guys can see that corner right there. I think you guys can see it right there. It just sticks up just a little. So I'm going to trim that down with my pocket knife just to fit in there. I mean, it's ever so slightly. This other corner fits fine. But over here, just that one spot. So I'm going to shave that down, then we'll push it in there. I'll show you what we got. All right, guys, you can see I trimmed this corner up with just a little. I mean, very little. I mean, you use sandpaper probably. I just use a pocket knife, whittle a little off of there. Now it fits up in there. I'm going to set it up in there and just put those screws in the holes. They line up with what's up there already. And then just that one single plug to plug it in. And that's all we got to do on the rig. The next, we're going to go hook the monitor up, and it should find these cameras automatically. And then we'll go through some of the settings on here. I'll show you how good the view is. We did a test on the distance last time, and it goes quite a way. So it's going to more than work for you for this distance. But let me get this up in there. See if I can show you guys that. I'm not too good at holding it and doing it at the same time. See, I got you guys out of frame already. Shoving the plugs up in there. See, you can see it fits in there now. Once I tighten the screws, it's all set. And then this will be set and ready to go. Then we'll go do the monitor. So let me get these screws in there. All right, guys, we have this mounted in there. It fit in there nice. We got the screws in. We're going to take the plastic off the cameras. I don't want it to, we see it on the screen. It looks a little messed up. You're like, what the heck's that? Probably got plastic on the camera. There we go. We have ours adjusted all the way up. Should be what we need. And then it does have the night vision like I mentioned. So even if you're driving at night, you're going to get a clear picture of what's going on. What's cool about this, using us using the factory one that was here, we don't have to seal anything. It's already done. We just have to put silicone on those side ones, and we'll do that last thing. We're going to show you the monitor and everything, and then we'll seal that up. But that's all there is to it back here. All right, guys, almost forgot our antenna. On this one, it is on the side, right here in this spot. We're just going to screw that into there. And then you can aim your antenna up like this. Make sure it's tight. And I mean, like I said, any way you want to do it, like that's fine. So we're set there. Now we'll go in and try the monitor. Right, guys, we're inside the truck now. We're going to set up our monitor and do everything. First thing we want to do is put in our antennas. to work. Just a side note, because of course, you know, we did a little run through already, but when you see the cameras and they say left side and right side, it's not like you would think, like when you're in your truck, you're sitting in your truck and you're like, the right side is the passenger side of the truck. That's not how it is on those cameras. They're labeled right side and left side. That's as you're facing the front of your RV. So if you're looking dead smack at the fifth wheel hitch or the front of your hitch at all, the right side is the right, the left is the left. Just to know, we had to switch our cameras around because it's different than you would think typically. All right, we got our antennas in. Now, there's two ways you could power this. You have the power outlet plug here, which gives you a USB connector in the front. That's an option. We also have the USB option, which is what we're buying for. And it has the little plug, also has the on and off switch on it. So first we got to do is plug these in. These are super tiny. I mean, those are micro tiny, but they only go in one way. You'll see a little knob up here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. And then there's a little cutout in this. It's only going to go one way. That's it. We'll plug this into our power outlet. Get ourselves some power. Of course, we're going to peel this off. I'll do the honors. Here we go. Bam. All right. Now we're just going to flip our switch and everything should show because everything is hooked up. And the one thing you're going to have to do before you test it, if you're not hooking up to your truck, is make sure you put that fuse thing in, that trick we were showing you. You're going to have to put that in to get your rig power. So there's all three of the views. You can see down each side of your rig and you can see the back part of your RV. You can adjust these as needed. This back one I have is all the way adjusted up, which is good because I'll be able to see stuff coming before it gets to the rig. And this here, I can just see the edge of my RV, and then I can see down both sides of the RV. So, I mean, those are pretty clear. They're tiny pictures because you got 3 on one screen, but they are nice and clear. Yeah, I can see it. I can make everything out there. Since it is kind of small and it blends in a little bit, the date and stuff that you see in here, it's there. A little harder to see. It would be nice if that was on like a white little box or something. It would be nice, but then again, it takes away from your, part of your view. And like I mentioned, this does have, it's on the bottom, your memory card built in for the DVR, so it can record your trip or whatever if you have any issues. So next, let's go inside we'll go inside and show you some of the menu items. All right, we're going to go through some of our settings. On the back of your unit, there's 3 buttons. To get to the menu, you're going to press your menu button, and then you have your up and down. That's what we're going to use. Our power went out on the truck. There we go. Got to turn it back on. We had it on too long. But that's what we're going to use. So we're pressing the middle one for menu. And this is where you can pair your cameras with your screen. You got the brightness and contrast display. Got to keep pressing it. You have the MU control. And then you have record. Then you have record. Settings where you want to set date and time. Your display mode. The MU can give you like mirrored. Like if you need to mirror an image or something, depends how you like your view out back of the rig. That's where you would adjust that for. Then your settings. Let's go into our settings. Well, I'll go into each one and show you guys. So brightness control, we can control the brightness and contrast. Pretty self-explanatory there. Okay. Now we're going to go back in. We can go to mirror controls. Like if you wanted to mirror it or make it go upside down, right side, whatever, you could do that in here. It's an option. Whoop. Let me pick that again. See, this is where you can pick your camera, which one you want to adjust if you were doing that. Okay, and then we're going to go to record. This is where you can record whatever. You're doing a trip and you want to record it, you can do that. It'll go onto your card that's in here and record that. And then over here on playback is when you can play those recordings back once you record them. They don't stay up long, so you got to be pretty fast on this. Let's go in here and see if we can set our date and time. It has a 2/26/25 date. That's not right. So we're going to go back to that. Set this. 25 is correct. So we can go there. Then we can go to 2. No, we're not in 2. Whoa, man. Okay, we're going to go up to 10. 10. Oh, I went past it. 10 right there. Next, we're going to go to 26.
25, I think.
Today's the 25th, I think. Right? So 25th. So yeah, today's the 25th.
Yeah.
And then your time, we'll go over to the time, I guess. 4. That's not right either.
Nope.
So it's going to be military time apparently.
So that would be,
So that's what 4 is 1600 hours.
yeah.
1600 hours.
40.
Is it 40?
Yeah.
30? Yeah, 40. You hold the button down? Nope.
Nope.
So we're going to go set our time. Here we go. Press the M to accept it. Next, we'll go to our seconds, which we don't care. Let that just count it. I don't know what that's counting. 16, 19. I'm not sure what that is, to tell you the truth. Seconds, I guess. All right, and that's how you set your date and time. You got your date done and your time done. Now you can go to other settings on here, which you have a reset and support. So there's not much settings other than that. It's pretty much plug and play. Everything you need is going to be set up when you first do it. And then, of course, like I mentioned, you have your, grid lines. You can put grid lines on there on your rear view camera if you want it. I choose not to because I'm only looking for cars coming in, and I usually have somebody help me back in, so I don't need the grid line so much. And then your playback, if you have any recordings, they will be on here with the date and the timestamp. So that's pretty much for your menu. Oh, there we go. And then your screen will time out and your setup. And remember I mentioned this slim profile. Like when you're setting it up on your dash, it's going to take less of your room of your screen or your windshield. And you can aim your antennas down so they're out of the way also. Or if you got a lower mount or something, you can mount it in multiple spots. I mean, even right here would work for ours, where I could still operate stuff. So it's kind of nice to have that small feature on there. But that's it. Let's go outside and we'll finish tightening those cameras to the side with the security screws, and then we'll put a bead of silicone around our cameras. And then we're all set, and this job is all done. I'm pretty happy with the view. I mean, look at that. I mean, if you guys can get a little closer, I mean, that's a pretty clear picture. So we put the golf cart out back there for reference. You guys can see it. I mean, it looks like it compresses a little because you have this screen for 3 different views, but pretty nice. So let's go out here and seal these up. All right, guys, now that we got everything inside working, we're out here going to put these, they call them anti-theft screws, into here so this don't slide off and nobody can take it. We're just going to put it in through there. It's threaded. We're just going to screw it all the way down. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And that's going to lock that in. And then we can put silicone on here to seal this out. I mean, you could probably not do it, but I would recommend you do it. Because silicone, I mean, water intrusion is terrible. And we want to make sure we get this good and sealed up. So we're going to finish this one, go to the other side, and then we'll get some silicone put on here. Then we'll be done with these. And like I said, this was a pretty easy job. I mean, with the WAGO connectors and the plug and play in the back, I mean, as soon as we plugged it in, it found it right away. These little stubby antennas are kind of cool. So now that's locked on there. We'll do the same on the other side. Then we're going to put some silicone on. So let me run over here and do this. Then we'll come back over here and do the silicone. All right, we're going to put our silicone on here. We're just using some clear silicone. I don't think anybody's good at this. But we're going all the way around. Get a good seal on this thing. We don't want no water getting in there. Ain't gonna look pretty until I rub it on there, I guess. And we'll do a nice little bead rub there. And that's the best we got. We're gonna do the other side. We're gonna finish that up off camera. But if you guys are interested in one of these, we'll leave links to them down below. They are pretty easy install, like I said. The back one is plug and play. If you're already set up for the Furrion cameras, you already have the housing and everything there. Like a lot of the new rigs come with that. If not, the housing does come with it. You just take off one of your lights on the top, use the power from that, mount your mount. You got your camera back there. And these ones here are the same thing. The power is already here for the lights. So we just had to remove our old ones, put these in the spaces with the Waggos. Makes it easy. Waggos, however people pronounce them. And they don't look too bad. And you've seen what they look like on the camera. It gives us a view down the whole side of this thing. We're limited because we have all our slides out. This unit has 5 slides. So it gives us the view we need down here. Even at night, it's going to work pretty good. If we can remember to get you a night shot, we'll get you a night shot to see how they look. As promised, guys, here's your night shot with the night vision it has. You can see it shows it pretty good. You can see it shining everything up with the IR that it has on there to give you that view and get you guys a little closer. I mean, you might think they're small because there's 3 cameras in one. I mean, for those of you who are used to the one single camera for like backup on a whole screen, this is all 3 of them. I mean, if you wanted to, let's say I do this without knocking it down, you can switch to like one camera or the other. Like here's the back. That's the back view. There's the grid lines. You can see those. And then this is the one of the sides. And here's the other side here going to pop up. So you could put one camera on the screen at a time if you wanted. Say you're trying to see something a little bit better. I mean, that does help you see it a little bit better, but that is good even at nighttime. It's a pretty easy job. So we want to thank Auto-Vox for reaching out to us and hooking us up with these. They are the sponsor of today's video, and we do like their stuff. It is easy. It works like it says it's supposed to. We haven't had any problem with it. Even the other one we put it on my son's rig. Works perfectly. And again, those are the long rigs, so we're getting that distance that we need. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, try something new.